because of this, it has become a part of my daily routine. I drink it all the time. And Mom and I started noticing we were drinking it more often, so she asked me if I wanted to give it up with her. I was like, sure, why not? Let's go ahead and try that. So we decided to give up pop at the beginning of November, and in the first couple of weeks we started noticing that we were having some health effects because of it. I had migraines daily, and we were both kind of dehydrated because we weren't drinking as much, and I actually felt like I had a cold. Didn't have a cold, it was just I was in withdrawal, I guess, from not having the pop and stuff that I used to have. And then we started looking at how much we actually drank in a day. Mom would have about a 32-ounce in a day, and that's about 124 grams of sugar, just in her pop that she's drinking. And I would drink about a 2-liter in a week, and plus I would have juice whenever I wasn't drinking that because I'm not a big fan of water. And with that, I would have about 135 grams of sugar a day, with a little bit of the 2-liter and then a serving of juice. And I don't blame anyone for the adverse health effects I had because of drinking pop, because no one forced me to drink it. But I do think that there is a problem with the way that they are sold to us. On the labels, they only give you the amount of grams of sugar per serving, but they don't give a limit on how many servings you should have in a day to limit your sugar intake. These are some of the reasons why I think the FDA should regulate the amount of sugar-dense drinks sold to individuals, and they should require companies, beverage and food and sugar companies, to come up with a daily percent value. Okay. I will begin to convince you of how sugar is addictive by telling you how it affects our body, how it contributes to overconsumption, and the problem with the nutrition labels on the products. Okay. Many people believe it's impossible because artificial sugar is in almost everything we eat nowadays and drink. Mainly it's high fructose corn syrup. And even in some cases, there have been water bottle companies, they wouldn't tell me the names, where they added small amounts of sugar and sodium into their water to make it taste superior to other bottled water companies. And that's by Kim Painter from USA Today. Artificial sugar, it actually, over time, the more and more you drink it, it will affect your metabolism where it won't work near as well, and it actually causes liver damage. And they equated it to Excedrin. If you take too much Excedrin, it will mess up with your liver. And it also, because it messes with your metabolism, it has an increase in fat production. Now, Kim Painter, also from USA Today, she said, we're Americans, we overeat all the time. What's a little more sugar? Now, everyone says it makes us feel good. That's why we eat what we do. Cake makes us feel good. Pop makes you feel good. But whenever you don't drink it, it actually makes you feel better. You're more active, you're more energized. You actually are supposed to sleep better because without all that caffeine and sugar, you're not as on a high, I guess. And the added sugars and the daily percent value, we really need to come up with a daily percent value because people aren't really considering how much they're taking in a day. Because, I only had one serving of pop, but you're only really looking at the calories and fat content. No one ever looks at the sugar. On the 2-liter I would drink, I would look at that, but I never really figured that's per serving. That's not per the entire bottle of 2-liter. And our country, we pride ourselves on being informed consumers, but we know things are bad for us, but we still drink and eat them. And we know there's a lot of added sugars and processed foods and everything. And Marcia Clement, she's from the CQ Researcher, she said up to 80% of the 600,000 processed food items in America have added sugars. I didn't know it was that high of a number, but I knew it was up there. But I still drank the pop and juice and everything. Now, the sugar and beverage companies, they have fought really hard for the FDA to come up with a daily percent value. And that's because when you get down to the nitty-gritty, women are only supposed to have 100 calories of sugar a day. And when you break that down, that's 25 grams of sugar a day. And men are only supposed to have 150, and that's 37.5 grams of sugar a day. Now, I was drinking, just in what I was drinking, I had over 5 times that limit. And my mom was right at 5 times. And that's if she didn't have a pop with dinner or something. Now, people need to be aware of what we're putting into our bodies. I know everyone knows that they're bad for us, but they don't really know how bad. The New York Governor, Michael Bloomberg, he tried tried to ban 16 ounces, or he did ban 16-ounce and greater in public areas such as restaurants and theaters and like museums and zoos and places like that in New York City to try to prevent this. A lot of people didn't like it, but it got them thinking, like, well, how much am I drinking in a day? So as I leave, I want you guys to think, how much sugar are you just drinking?